Welcome everybody to Football Discussion Daily. My name is Joe, here with co-host
Gio.
CGO or George. Today we're going to talk about the Champions League results. It is the 17th of February 2026, and we will talk about the fixtures tomorrow. I'll read off the results real quick. PSG 2, Monaco 3. Oh no, that was PSG 3, Monaco 2, Dortmund 2, Atalanta 0, Galatasaray 5, Juventus 2, and Benfica 0, Madrid 1. I will say that we will spend quite a bit of time talking about the incident in the Madrid Benfica game. There was an incident with Vinicius and a player on Benfica um, that I feel like is more important than any of the results today. But we will talk about the results as well. Tomorrow's games are Karabag, Newcastle, Olympiacos, Leverkusen, Bodo Glimt, Inter, Club Brugge, Atletico. George, out of the non-Madrid Benfica games, what do you think is the best? What do you think is the biggest highlight of the non-Madrid Benfica game?
I think I will go for the game between Monaco and PSG
Okay.
because it was a dramatic comeback for PSG. Monaco were able to uh, take the lead, and then they also scored another goal. So they were 2 goals up, courtesy of an American player called Folani Balogun. Scored 2 goals for Monaco, and then we had Usman Dembele. Uh, he was injured in that game and he was taken off. They brought in Desire Doué, and Desire Doué came in and on his first touch, he got a goal for PSG. And
Yeah.
then even the second goal, which was the equalizer, it was instrumental because he shot the ball and then the goalkeeper pushed it out, and then we saw Hakimi control the ball and then hit it again into the net. And then the third goal, it was still Desire Doué who scored the goal. In short, he was very outstanding in this game. For me, he was the man
Yeah.
of the match. So that was the game that caught my eye, apart from the game between Benfica and Real Madrid.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I mostly watched Madrid Benfica, so like I saw some of the goals the other games. Just results wise for me, I think Galatasaray Juventus surprised me. George, question: do you know trivia? When's the last time a Turkish team won a knockout tie in the Champions League?
I think it's been quite a while. I know if any team must have done that, it has to be Galatasaray. Because I
It
can't I can't because most times Galatasaray, apart from Fenerbahce, has always been the team representing Turkey in the Champions League.
So the
So
last time a Turkish team won a Champions League tie was the round of 16 in 2013. I beat Schalke on the round of 16. So it's the last time. So it's been a very long time. Obviously, in the last, 12 years, 13 years, uh, Italy has declined quite a bit. I feel like they were right on par with Spain and England 15 years ago. It's been a slow decline. Juventus, in particular, was every bit as good as any elite club for a couple years, and has declined. So that result certainly struck out for me. There's definitely a second half to win for Galatasaray, but just being competitive and being able to push was definitely surprised me. George, the Karabakh. So tomorrow's games: Karabakh, Newcastle, Olympiacos, Leverkusen, Bodo Glimt, Inter, Bruges, Atletico. Which game excites you the most?
let me see.
I'll say the one that excites me the most is Bodo Glimt versus Inter. You know why? Because those Bodo Glimt fans, they know this is probably the only knockout game they will see in their entire life. Like, they will probably never make a Champions League knockout game again. If they do, great, but like, they will go crazy. They have zero pressure on them. Their team is going to be, it's going to just be a wild atmosphere in that fan section. I think it's going to be awesome. And I think Inter will win that tie handily, but from just an experience, I think that'll be quite awesome, and it'll be quite the experience for those Bodo Glimt players. So I think that'll
No,
be
no,
great.
I want to agree with you. I think that game is one of the games that I'll be looking forward to. But when you One thing I'm very sure of is that Inter Milan, they will be very wary of Bodo Glimt, considering the fact that their last two Champions League game, they defeated top teams. They defeated
Hmm.
Manchester City at home, that is in their home ground, and then they went away to Spain and defeated Atletico Madrid. So if a team has been able to achieve such kind of feat, that's not a team you should write off or take for granted.
No.
So I feel that Inter Milan, they will approach that game with all seriousness because now this is not a team you should underrate. So they have what it takes to get the result with the likes of Marcos Thuram in front with Lautaro Martinez. And then you having players like Dimarco, who plays as a wing back. You have Barella. These are quality players that can really give you the result, especially when they are in good form. So I want to believe this is a game Inter Milan will approach with all seriousness, and I see them getting victory in this game.
Yeah, I think professional footballers don't overlook teams very often. I think that's something that like they have to have as fans you can, dream all you want, but professional footballers you have to take them seriously every week or else you're going to get beat even if you're more talented or a better team on paper. All right, George, I think the biggest news today, I told you beforehand, the results today are interesting. I feel like 10 years from now we are not going to remember the specific results. I do feel like there's an incident today with Vinicius and a player on Benfica, Pastor Prestiani. I'd never heard of him before today, where Vinicius scored a goal and he did a dance behind a flag. I think it made a player on Benfica mad. I thought it was a great celebration, beautiful. You should be happy when you score a goal. The player who was talking trash and saying some very PG-13 rated R stuff covered his mouth and said something to Vinicius, who immediately went to the ref and claimed it was a racial slur. I felt, based on the body language of literally everybody, that this was actually said on the field. I thought the Vinicius body language, the player looked very guilty. The match was suspended for 10 minutes. No judgment was given out. And the match resumed, and Madrid won the game. And there was a later incident in the game where Valverde punched somebody in the face. Probably should have been a red as well.
Yes.
But neither here nor there. I thought the goal from Vinicius was fantastic. I thought the celebration was fantastic. George, do you think the ref handled the situation correctly?
Honestly speaking, the referee didn't handle this game very well. The game was highly tensed, and for a game of that magnitude, you need a referee who pays attention to details to handle games like this. Because that incident that happened where we had Gianluca Prestiani uh, making a very terrible gesture towards uh, Vinicius Jr. For me, it was unnecessary, and we
Yeah.
should discourage such kind of act. We know in football people can be very emotional, but I feel when there are heavy penalties for behaviors that are unwarranted,
Yeah.
it will help the game, to help us to protect the game. Because I see not because Mourinho was uh, trying to give a reason why maybe the fans and then some of his players reacted the way they reacted because Vinicius, the way he celebrated. There was nothing too terrible about the celebration he made.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen players like Roger Milla of Cameroon in the 1990 World Cup. When he scores, he goes to dance. We've seen a player like Matheus Cunha. When he scores a goal for Manchester United, we see the way he does his celebration. That is part of the game.
It
So
was beautiful.
using
It
that
was,
as an
it was
excuse, to me, it doesn't make any sense. So for
yeah.
me, UEFA has to investigate this matter, and they need to really uh, give a very heavy sanction for such kind of behavior, because we shouldn't allow this to happen in the game of football. If not, it
George,
will bring the game to disrepute.
I mean, George, I'll say this. I did say earlier that it looked like it obviously happened. I believe it happened. I would bet a good portion of my life savings that it happened, but there's no proof. The guy clearly covered his mouth. He said it in a way that only Vinicius could hear. I know I watch people play. I've heard some bad stuff on the pitch, and I think anything short of racism is fair game on the pitch. You know, if it's high intensity, you're trying to get in somebody's head. Racism is a step too far, but I saw what I felt. Both Vinicius and the player knew that he had crossed the line immediately. You could tell from the body language. But I feel like without proof, it's really hard to suspend somebody. I feel like the ref did about as well as he could. They looked for 10 minutes for something, anything on VAR, and it's very difficult. The player was, as much as I hate to say this, he covered himself by putting his face up. So I think in this particular incident, the 10 minutes calmed the game a bit, and unfortunately, I don't know what else a player can do, and it's literally just Vinicius is word that has this. But I'd love to see a world where that player can be banned. We have a punishment for months or a year for that type of behavior, rather than us here talking on a podcast about it.
No, no, like you rightly said, with the few moments the referee had, it might be very difficult for one to determine if the guy actually did that because it's very difficult for you to get a proof of what he has said. Now, the reason
Yeah,
why I was saying the referee didn't handle the game very well was considering the action of Valverde um, throwing his hand on somebody, touching someone, that's a red card. So, and you have a VAR. So the question you ask yourself is, what's the essence of having a VAR if such an incident happened? Because that is a violent conduct. If it were to be in the Premier League, that is a red card for you. And I know even at UEFA level, that's what it's supposed to be. So if VAR can overlook that, then things like this makes a mockery of the game. So referees they must pay attention to details, especially when it comes to things that are violent. We need to discourage that and take very strict action when such things happen. So that
yeah,
was areas where I felt the referee didn't do well. So that's
yeah.
why I said he didn't handle the game very well.
The Valverde incident certainly should have been looked at. I felt that was more the linesman fault because that was directly in front of the linesman. He should have seen it. VAR saw it. I think things like retrospective bans and retrospective red cards and retrospective yellow for dives should be a thing. None of those are in the game right now, to my knowledge, in any league. And the ref was not given. As far as I'm aware, I did not watch the game. I watched the long highlights because I had work. But as far as I'm aware, the ref was not called to a monitor to view the Valverde situation. The linesman did not just let the play on. Um, but Valverde, that was very clearly red, and he lost his cool. And if there's any situation that causes a player to lose his cool, I thought also I saw Mbappe speak after the match about the incident. I thought he spoke very maturely about it. He said that there's no place for the Champions League like this. He said that um, he said the fans don't want this, the players don't want this. All we want is a harmony from people and competitiveness, and that a lot of things get said on the pitch, and you can go too far. But he did say that most players do not respect that it's a game. So I thought he spoke very eloquently about it in a language it's not his first language. He clearly was speaking from the heart. I don't think Real Madrid PR was training him to say what he had said, and I thought it was very eloquent and great, and I feel like I gained perspective from watching it.
Yeah, I feel that's the way to speak, especially when it comes to incident like this, because if you are not mindful of the way you address issues like this, it can get out of hand. So I feel that's a smart way to address the press, because the press is a way they bring out words from your mouth. If you are not careful, you say things that you can't withdraw back tomorrow. So it was a good way to address the issue. I feel football is a unifying factor, it's a unifying game, and we need to do everything possible within our reach to make sure the game is protected. So
Yeah,
people shouldn't take things out of proportion. They shouldn't make things to escalate into violence or things that shouldn't be. That's not what the game is all about. The game is just to unify us and make every one of us happy. That's why we all watch football. We don't want
Yeah,
to lose that entertaining side of it.
I mean, it is for me. It's an escape from a world. Like I have a job, and like it's an escape from that. It's where I just have to focus on the game and get aspects of it. It's a great opportunity to build relationships with. You grew up halfway around the world from me, George, and we're close friends. I feel like it's an avenue for building relationships. I have a roommate one from Nigeria, one from Afghanistan, where we, talk all day and we connect over football, and we came up from very different backgrounds. Football is an avenue for that. Um, and unfortunately, it can also be an avenue for talking about the racism that does exist in the world. And unfortunately, that was the conversation. I feel like the biggest conversation out of today that I'd love to talk to anybody who's watching this about. So, because I'd like to learn more as a person as well. Let me, uh, George.
So I have a question for you. With what happened on the pitch, is there a way you think this issue can be investigated to know what actually transpired on the pitch? Is there a way you think that can be done?
George, I think that solving racism is going to be something humans are going to be dealing with. We've been dealing with for centuries, and we will be dealing with centuries. It will not be solved by a rule on the football field. I do believe that banning a player for life, if it's proven that they have said a particular set of words, and we can all think of what those words might be. I believe Vinicius accused the player of saying monkey at him, which in my opinion should be a bannable lifetime bannable offense. No, if it's proven. And in situations like this where it can't be proven, I don't know what the right solution is, George, but I do feel like a player like that, if there was a lifetime ban for saying that to a black player, I feel like that would make players think twice before saying anything.
From
Players should think twice before saying anything anyway. They shouldn't need a punishment for that, but I do feel like it should be a lifetime ban. Yes.
Do you think it's something technology can help us achieve, whereby because now you can even hear what the referee says, even when they interact? I don't know how that can be done. If it's something technology can help us to address, I don't know if it's something technology can do, so
I don't
that we
know
know
either, George.
what comes out from maybe every player on the pitch, coaches, and then everybody can be accountable. I don't know if it's something that maybe the football world should start considering.
I can't think of a technological solution to that, but there are much smarter people than me in the world, George. I feel like the punishment that we have is not strong enough. We banned fans, I believe, for much longer than we banned players for, and I believe that punishment should be quite long for players. And like I just threw out lifetime ban. But George, I feel like that racism has been a problem for centuries and will be a problem for a very long time. And I think that we're more aware of it now than ever, and football has helped us be aware. I think that even things like kneel downs before games as can help start conversations with people you wouldn't normally have that conversation with, and can just bring light to an issue that is very serious and should not be taken lightly.
Okay, but
Yeah,
before we go, I just wanted to ask you a question very quickly. What
sure.
do you think will happen between Wolves and Arsenal tomorrow in the Premier League?
I mean, there's several times. This will not be. I don't feel like it will be a close game. I feel like it'll be a very comfortable 2-0. I think that Arsenal usually score a goal or two and then take their foot off the gas. I don't think Wolves has quite the energy to and the quality to punish Arsenal for that. And I think it will come back to bite Arsenal. Maybe not enough to lose the title, but not tomorrow. 2-0. What about you?
Okay, well, I feel Arsenal should win tomorrow. I'll be surprised if they don't win because Wolves are at the bottom of the table, so there is no excuse for them not to claim all 3 points. So
Okay.
tomorrow it should be victory for Arsenal.
Okay. Let me just recap the questions for the day. Number one, what do you think outside of the Madrid game? What was your favorite moment in the Champions League today? Favorite goal, most surprising result? Number two, what do you think is going to happen in the Arsenal Wolves game? Number three, how can we better address racism in football and accusations and proving things that happen on the pitch? How do you think we can go towards a better world with that? We'd love to know your thoughts. And number five, or number 4, sorry. What Champions League game are you looking most forward to tomorrow? Thanks for listening.